welcome to the Australian Herpetoculture. Yeah, I stuffed up for once.
About time. It's not
Yeah,
just
I
me
know.
doing the outro stuffing up, it's you stuffing the intro. That's
I'm
awesome.
going to blame COVID on that one. But anyway, we'll just leave it. Australian Herpetoculture podcast. There we go. I got it out.
Yeah. What's your name, Jason?
Jathan.
My name's Luke. So yeah, welcome to the show, guys. Tonight we've
Yep.
actually got a very special guest on, and yeah, man, you absolutely buckled that one.
Oh, mate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. We'll leave it.
Same.
Yeah, tonight. So guys, we've got Jessie Campbell on tonight. It's going to be a really awesome podcast. Jessie's a local Sydney lad that's right into herping photography, and he's also into relocating Sydney snakes with Reptile Relocation Sydney. Jessie, welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, what an introduction. Jeez, we absolutely butchered that one.
That was a Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me.
No, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I might kick off the first question, eh? See if
Yeah,
I can
go
stop
for
this
it,
one up. So what got you basically stuck into reptiles as a young fella?
Well, I used to be like terrified of snakes. I used to think, oh, like the only good snake's a dead snake. My dad sort of made me think that as well, because he grew up with that sort of being surrounded by that kind of mentality. And then I don't know, after footy one day when I was like 11, I had a sleepover at my mate's house, and he had a diamond python, he had a bearded dragon, he had a couple of turtles, and he had an axolotl. And I was like too scared to even hold the bearded dragon, and he basically like just put it on me. And I don't know, basically that entire time sleeping over at his house was just spent with his reptiles. And it blew my mind that they weren't what they were made out to be. Like, I just couldn't believe that they were so cool. And the diamond python wasn't coming to attack me. It wasn't biting at all. It was just the calmest thing ever. And I couldn't believe it. And especially the bearded dragon was what got me hooked. And so after that, I was like, far out, this is sick. I went home and I just watched videos on bearded dragons and lizards. And like, I would spend all day just watching videos on people keeping bearded dragons. And every day I'd work with my parents and be like, I've got to get a bearded dragon. I want a bearded dragon so bad. And then like 3 months later, it came around to my birthday, and I'd been doing research on keeping them and everything for months. And I got my first bearded dragon, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And it's just snowballed from there. It started off with like just a bearded dragon, and then it went more into like captive things. I got a blue tongue next, and then it's sort of like these days it's more out in the bush, but I still do keep a few things. But yeah, it's just snowballed from there and taken off.
It's funny how quickly it can escalate.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. Yeah.
So what are you keeping now? Because you've got a few enclosures there behind you.
Yeah, I do. So this is my room. I've got 2 boids there, 2 little boids. I've got a night tiger in that one.
Oh, nice.
And then outside I've got a water python. I've got a blue tongue lizard. And then downstairs I've also got a Deviz banded snake, which is sick. That's probably my favorite thing. Well, the coolest thing I own.
Nice.
Yeah, sick as.
What do they like to keep?
They're all right. I don't really handle it too much. It bites absolutely everything that it touches, and it's so fast. But it's sick to look at. Like, I'll come home from work and go shine the light in its enclosure, and it's just out there, just waiting in ambush, just sitting there. It's so cool seeing it do its own thing.
Yeah. They're one of those species that you don't see getting around the hobby too much.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably one of the
definitely.
only other people that I know, apart from Mitch, who's got one.
Yeah. Hopefully, because Mitch got his off my boss that I catch snakes for, and we were planning on trying to breed mine with his eventually, and that'd be really cool to have. To start getting a few more Deviz in the hobby.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they're hard to come by. I was waiting for ages to see one, and then one just randomly popped up one day, and I jumped on it as soon as I saw the post.
And it's all happily eating and everything, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it doesn't eat off the tongs, but if I just leave a little mouse in there overnight, it'll smash it, come back big on the next day.
Nice.
That sounds like my boigers. My boigers are the same. Like, they're quite happy to drop feed, essentially.
Yeah, it took me ages to get my boiger feeding. There was a problem. Like, once you put the food in its mouth, it'll take it, but it wouldn't eat off the tongs or anything. And then I don't know, like one day after like a year and a half, it just snapped and just magically took it. And now it won't eat off the tongs still. It's kind of gone funny, but if you just put it in overnight, it smashes it. So
yeah,
still happy with that.
Mine are weird. Like some days they'll take it off the tongs quite happily, like they're ferocious, and then some days they're just like, nah, just leave it on my ledge for me, and I'll get to it when I get to it.
They're cool, but I love not tigers. I love boigas. I'd love to keep more clips. I'd love to get a tree snake, and I wish you saw more species like keelbacks and stuff in the hobby. I think they would be so cool.
Yeah.
That's one thing we don't have in the Australian hobby, right? Is heaps of colubrids. Like, there's still a few of them out there.
Yeah. They're
even
pretty scarce.
Day snakes, I think, would be sick to keep.
Yeah, for sure.
But you don't see them popping up at all, really.
No, it's like any of those sorts of things. Like even all the R1 elapids you're allowed on license. Like you can't get any of them because they're all feeders and they're not held in numbers.
And you need to keep one of those for 2 years before you can go to an R2. But it's so hard to find the things on R1 because I was gonna try and upgrade to my venomous keeping license, and I didn't have anything on R1. And you don't see them popping up. So as soon as I saw that De Beers as well, I was like, I've got to get that.
What class are they on the license?
They're on R1.
De Beers R1. Yeah.
It's surprising that they're on R1. Their venom certainly does pack a bit more of a punch than something like a whip snake.
Yeah.
No.
So you said your dad was a kind of, the only good snake's a dead snake kind of mentality. So I know that you and your dad go on trips kind of regularly now. So did you kind of change his perspective on reptiles?
Yeah. So once I started wanting to go out herping more, I'd watch more herping YouTube videos and stuff like that. He started coming along to make sure that I was safe because I was still really young. I think I was like 12. He didn't want me wandering around the bush by myself, and especially because he thought that snakes chase you, and so he was obviously worried about that. And then just by coming out in the bush with me, and we were catching things, and I'd show them to him, and he'd be taking photos and stuff. He slowly started getting more and more into it, and now pretty much he comes on all the trips we go on, and he's catching snakes, and he's loving it.
That's kind of crazy because
that's awesome.
The way that I've kind of seen you from social media and your dad from kind of like afar essentially is I actually thought that you may have learnt a lot from him, not vice versa. So that's kind of cool to see it, the shoe on the other foot, so to speak, because quite often you see, it being passed down to son or daughter as such, but
definitely
it's not often that it goes up the chain.
100%. It so it started off with him I wouldn't be allowed to catch snakes if we were out in the bush, like venomous snakes. I'd have to work my way up, so I'd catch like a diamond python, like diamond pythons and tree snakes and stuff, and then once I'd prove to him that I can catch them without getting bitten, he'd let me do whip snakes and stuff. And then it took ages and convincing mum as well, but he'd finally let me go catch things like black snakes and copperheads and that. And then now I've shown him that I can do it without getting bitten, and he's a lot more comfortable with it. And I've done the handling course and all that. And it's him catching things, and I've got to tell him what he can and can't catch.
That's all. You don't really. That's a story that you don't really hear much of, really. Both people come in full circle. Do you still live at home, or do you live? Yeah. So does he enjoy having your reptiles and that there as well? He feeds them and does all that kind of stuff.
He loves feeding the boids and watching the boigas eat and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is cool. And it certainly helps as well with convincing mum to let me do things because he wants to do them as well, especially with Trip.
That's awesome.
We've been trying to get mum into it. I reckon she'll come round.
Yeah, she's just got to find what she wants, what she likes.
Yeah. Well, she's scared of frogs. She's been terrified of frogs her whole life, so that's kind of thrown a spanner in the works. But I reckon we'll get there.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe you should show her some cute bobtail geckos or something like that, but maybe that's not so good if they look, because they do look a little frog-like.
Yeah.
Even some spiny tails or something, she might,
Yeah. Well, she loved my beardy when I had it.
Yeah, okay.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a start. There you go.
Yeah.
So they are good segue animals to get into, further into reptiles. Like beardies, you just can't go wrong with.
Yeah, you can see why they've taken off in the States. Yeah. That's such good pets. So
we've when we go on trips, we've convinced mum she can feed the boys, so she'll get the crickets on the tweezers and stuff. So I reckon we are making good progress with that. She'll feed the boys off the tweezers and stuff.
I think if you can do that, then you've pretty much got it.
100%. Yeah.
You know, if you can get somebody to deal with bugs who's not real keen, then you know, that's pretty good going.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not going to get a tongue feeder Deviz, but
yeah, definitely not.
Oh, well, at least snakes, you can kind of just tell it to leave them alone, or you know, top up a water bowl from far or something. It's so bad.
Bugs give me the heebie-jeebies sometimes, though.
Yeah,
I can't do grasshoppers. I've got a mad phobia of grasshoppers, and a lot of my mates take the piss out on me when we're out in the bush. They'll find a grasshopper and they'll purposely like throw it on me when I'm taking photos or something. It spits me out.
Yeah, well, some of them pack a bite too. Some of those grasshoppers.
Yeah, we had a massive one downstairs last week. They look terrifying. They look like little aliens. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to remember that one just in case I do catch you out.
So, sorry, go on.
No, you go, man.
Yeah, the only reason I'm scared of him because I woke up one morning when I was like 10, and there was this big fat grasshopper in my bed, and it was squashed because I'd rolled on it in my sleep. Flipped. So since then, a
little bit of trauma.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they breed them big in the arid country too. Because you like stop for them all the time, going, "Is that a gecko? Is that a gecko?" And then just run over it now.
When we were in the NT, it was like grasshopper plagues, and you can imagine my friends had a good bit of fun with that.
Yeah, that would have been horrible.
Yeah.
So, do you want to just kind of like give a brief description to our audience of what it's like herping in Sydney? You know, like the kind of habitats and stuff and pockets as such?
So there's within the Sydney region, there's a bunch of different habitats and there's a bunch of different things that you can be looking for. So this season, I've been going herping more the upland swamps and stuff around Darrabul, things like that, because my mission's been to crack the local the tiger snakes and the mustard bellies down there. So I've been just hitting that hard. I was down there last night and today. So I've been going that hard for tiger snakes and mustard bellies, and of course you'll find things like all the black snakes and swamp snakes and things like that. And then there's like the dry sandstone forests and things you can walk, and you get things like broadheads and brown tree snakes and diamond pythons of a night. There's the rainforest and stuff you can get. It's good for the diamond pythons, tree snakes. There's just a bunch of different habitats, and it really depends what you're looking for. A lot of the time, if you can just drive an hour down south and you can get copperheads and white-lipped snakes. You can go like 2 hours north and you'll be getting Stevens bandeds and dwarf crown snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
So like we're kind of in a good spot that, in the sense that you can go north, west, or south, and there's going to be something new within a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So you can often do day trips and just get a bunch of different species.
Yeah.
But yeah, the upland swamps and stuff have been my go-to this season.
I find it so funny too that like throughout, I mean, I can't speak for much of other Sydney apart from like the northern beaches, because that's where I was pretty much locked and loaded for a good period of time. But even in the northern beaches, like you get just like little random pockets of like forest or something in between suburbia that can house so many different varieties of animals that you won't find in the next suburb so easily, you know? And it's that blows my mind.
Like, it's insane how many things you can find with like so close to people's homes.
Yeah. And you don't realize that half of the stuff's there that close.
Yeah. People be living and like I'll be walking along the bush and find something basking in somebody, like on the way to the bush, something in someone's front yard, and they'll have no idea that it's there.
Yeah.
Or you'll be walking through the bush and people wouldn't have seen it. They'll walk right past a brown snake or something. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, some of the species have adapted so well.
Yeah, it's crazy how if you're not looking, you miss so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, when I'm looking, I miss so much. Like,
I often wonder, like, I'd probably cringe at all the cool things that I've walked past and just not seen.
Yeah.
There's going to be insane things on, like, for everybody, really.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially that target species. You know, you go on a trip and you got that target species and you could have been like a meter from it and not even seen it.
Or you turn left, and if you turned right, you would have got it. But
or look down instead of up or something. Like
yeah.
That sounds like me going to the NT looking for mulga monitors and walking around the bloody mulga trees. Like, I'm sure there's 1,000 of them staring at me, but
yeah, yeah, that's it.
Probably saw you coming a mile away and
yeah,
exactly. Off somewhere.
I was walking a track at night looking for broadheads with my dad, and we'd walked for hours and seen nothing. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna sit down for 5 minutes. So I went for a walk, and I was like, all right, so I'll shine the left side on the way up, and on the way back down, I'll shine the right side. And instead of sitting down, he just slowly walked behind me. And I was like 5 minutes into the bush, and I just hear him yelling. And I come back, and then, of course, on the side that I wasn't scanning, that was the biggest broadhead we've ever seen. It's starting to come onto the track. It's like, lucky he was there to find that.
So, do you want to just kind of tell our audience a little bit about what it's like, what the habitat's like to find broadheads? Because I'm hopefully going to find my first this weekend. I'm leaving my local areas, so
So they love that sandstone habitat. Even in heathy kind of habitat. Like, I found broadheads in just crossing through heath where it doesn't look like there's any sandstone around, but in southern Sydney, just about all that sandstone country is really good for broadheaded snakes. They love it. And it seems like the mild nights are the best for them.
Yeah, okay.
So between probably 17 to 21 degrees seems like the best time for them. And generally later at night, probably after 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But I haven't gone looking for them this season. Because every night I've been herping locally. I've been going for tiger snakes.
That's fair enough.
And the main track that everyone goes to looking for them does my head in. I always get skunked there, so I've been steering clear of that one.
No, fair enough. It kind of feels like me at my local spot as well. It's like everyone always stumbles across adders, and yet they seem to be like the bane of my existence there, you know?
Like that night, was that the spot that I ran into you at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I got the adder.
Simon found one just before he got to me.
Yeah.
And then you guys found one, but you were in the car miles away. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm in the wrong spots at each given time. And you guys got a boiger and stuff that night. You got a fair bit of stuff.
Yeah, we got bandies, boigers, diamond, adders, Burtons.
Yeah.
I think that was it. But yeah, it's like that. When you want to see something, everyone will find them but you. Even if it's something common, like a red belly. Yeah. Like, I remember when red bellies was something I was targeting real hard, and they're not hard to find at all. But it took me months before I could actually find one. Yeah. But yeah, you learn while you're doing that. You learn a lot from, and it makes things. That's the best thing about herping as well, is that you don't find everything when you want to find it. You got to earn it. Makes it so much more satisfying and so much more exciting when you do see something.
You got to put the time in.
Yeah, that's it. 100%.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah,
Sydney's definitely one of those kind of. Nobody really thinks about going herping in Sydney, but it is actually a pretty good location to be able to plonk down, catch up with a lot of people, and be able to travel to so many different areas of it. You know, southwest, north, wherever. But yeah,
100%.
You can find a hell of a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, it's insane. I think I used to want to move up to the Central Coast, live up there, but I feel like living in Sydney's for a herp is kind of the perfect spot for me, at least, because then I'm within an hour and a half of the Blue Mountains or north of Sydney, or the Southern Highlands if I want to go there. Fish River's only 2.5 hours out west, sort of thing. Yeah. So it's everything's relatively close and easy to go to.
Yeah, it does make it nice and easy.
Yeah.
So, as you said before, you've been hunting tiger snakes pretty hard. So, is it safe to say that venomous snakes seem to be your thing to find at the moment?
Yeah. They're always fun. I think my two favorite groups are probably frogs and elapids.
Yeah.
Venomous snakes are always fun to see. But yeah, I froth frogs as well. I reckon they're sick.
Yeah, I'm into frogs at the moment, thanks to
Luke, they're so cool. There's I don't know. I just love. I'm not sure what it is, but
they're pretty good to take photos of too. I think
they are, and I think one of the things I love most about photographing frogs is they're almost like 99% of the time you can just take a photo of it in situ.
Yeah.
And they just sit there. And I like in situ for herping photography is way better than when you pose things. And it's just so much nicer just being able to walk around and just take a couple of quick photos, move on to the next frog, or keep walking or something.
Or even that same frog, like it'll jump into a couple of different spots in that same little area, and it's complete. Like it might be a little bit higher up, jump down a little bit lower, and it's a completely different composition than the last one.
Yeah, definitely. But that's like with like leopards, it's a lot harder to get sort of in situ photos.
And nice sharp photos.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But
I always enjoy seeing frogs when they're out.
100%. Yeah. I think my favorites are red-eyed tree frogs. Like they're not rare, but every time I go up, like north of Sydney, seeing them, I get so excited. I just absolutely love them. I reckon probably just because when I was a kid, that was like the main frog that I knew.
Yep.
That was like I had a big stuffed toy of a red-eyed tree frog, and I was like, that's so cool. And hearing them calling as well, I froth them. They're probably my favorite frog, to be honest.
Yeah, I do like them too.
Yeah.
They're one that I always get drawn back to. You know, as soon as I sell them, like a year later, I'm like, maybe I should get some more red eyes or something.
Yeah. Are they good to keep?
Yeah, they're easy as. Jason's got mine now.
Yeah,
I've got them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I thought about getting into keeping frogs for a while. I'm probably going to get like once I'm finished with uni and everything, I'm probably going to start keeping a few more things. And I'd like to keep a couple of frogs, but at the moment, I just don't reckon I'd be able to do it.
Mate, if you can keep boids, you can keep frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Like, if you honestly, can tolerate the noise if it's in your room, that's the other thing as well. I mean, yeah. I mean, the ones I've got aren't bad. Like, I'm there in a separate shed, but you know, they don't call as much as I thought they would. But compared to like some of the other frogs in the area, like if they're in your room and you're trying to sleep, you reckon you'd struggle to sleep.
I'd love it. I reckon it'd be so cool. Sometimes I'll leave my window open. We have just like 5 Criniosonifera calling in the front yard, and I just like to listen to them. Sometimes that'll be like a bunch of different calls, and you'll hear them like going back and forth. That kind of puts me to sleep.
Yeah. I agree, but when it's right in your ear.
Yeah, true.
I think maybe because you have the option to shut the window as well, like just to mute it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that might play into it a bit as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That little Philocroa that Jason's got at his place, I used to have to shut this bedroom door and my bedroom door just to drown him out because he'd just keep going all night.
He's made a few appearances tonight.
Yeah. He seems a little bit more subdued where he is at your place, though. He seems to be not so loud.
At least my son's always got his face in the glass looking for him. So, but it's funny because they'll come sit on that log every time they're ready for food. They'll sit on that log down the bottom.
Yeah, they're funny like that, aren't they?
Oh,
you almost got them trained.
Yeah, but definitely get into frogs. I reckon they're underrated.
Yeah.
People think they're really, really hard to keep too, but I just found if you set it up in a very basic bioactive tank with just a big water bowl that you clean regularly, that seems to be the easiest way that I've ever kept frogs. Whereas I've had like sterile environments and stuff like that for them, and they just seem to just not thrive.
Yeah, they've got magnificent tree frogs at work and bell frogs and stuff, and they're all relatively straightforward to keep.
Yeah,
so seem too crazy.
Whereabouts are you working these days?
Symbio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's your kind of like main role there?
Reptiles. I'm a reptile keeper.
Yeah.
A couple of days a week. I love it. It's so good.
I don't think I've ever been to Symbio.
I haven't either.
It's good. I love it.
Nah. I've always wanted to go down there. But I've never been there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I still haven't been to Sydney Zoo. I've been hanging out to go for that.
Is that the new one?
For that for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking of taking my son there for his birthday. But I haven't been there either, so I drove past it a few times. It looks awesome.
Yeah. I went to the reptile park last week for the first time in like 5 years. There's so much more stuff than when I was last there. It's such a good. I love the reptile park.
Yeah,
it's sick.
Yeah, I go there pretty regularly, at least once a year. So
yeah, nice.
But I'm only up the road from it. I used to live literally like 5 minutes from it. because I grew up in carry on. So
yeah, cool.
Only stone throw from it, but
that's
yeah. Sometimes I feel like they could have more Australian reptiles on display, like some of the more unique stuff that you don't really see anywhere else. But I mean, they've got some awesome exotic stuff there too. So.
They do, yeah. I love their rough-scaled python enclosure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
I haven't been there in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to get up and see Jag.
Yeah, nice.
So just kind of to bring it around to herping a little bit, can we just ask what are some essential supplies that you take with you when you go out for a night or a weekend trip?
Yeah. Well, always bring my camera bag. And in my camera bag, I've got like a first aid kit with snake bandages and that sort of stuff in there. I've also added an EpiPen to that, and my asthma puffer because I've got asthma, so I chucked that in there as well. But the EpiPen, just in case anyone has an allergic reaction to anything.
Yeah.
Because, so I got that. Most of the time, I'll take closed-in shoes, water bottle, head torch. Even if I'm heading out during the day, even for a couple of hours. Like today, I was only going to head out for 2 hours, and I was out till like 5 o'clock. So you can't really predict it. So I usually will bring a torch, or at least leave one in my car with me. So I've got one there if I do need it.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to like shine, if you see something go into like a crevice or something and you want to shine it in there, because the phone light doesn't really do it.
Yeah, it's not very direct.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kind of like brand of head torch that you use?
I just use the LED lenses.
Yeah, seem to be the common go-to.
Yeah.
Although it looks onto it.
Yeah,
pretty nifty one at the moment.
We also get Bunnings, like the handheld torches from Bunnings.
Yep.
Those are actually good. They're pretty cheap, and they're just good for. They're just really bright, just shining long distances. And when you're driving, just cruising out the window, shining the sides or shining up trees and stuff.
What ones are they? Is it the Bunnings brand, or is it like a?
No, it's just the torches that they sell there. They've just got a bunch of handheld torches, and at BCF they sell a few good torches too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just recently bought this one here, which is an Olight.
Nice. Yeah.
Perrin 2, Pre-Run 2 or something like that. I saw that Adam Bryce bought one, and I was just like, well, I've never really invested money in a torch apart from like 50, 60 bucks sort of thing. So I thought I'd give one a go. And I mean, I haven't taken it out herping yet, but I've just like been herping in the room here or whatever at night, and I'm going, this thing's pretty bloody bright. So can you give that a bit of a go? Something I do like about it is the fact that you can actually like take it out of the headband, so you can actually use it like a
that's cool.
Like a handheld then. So you can
sick. One of the problems I've got with my head torch, my dad's got a different head torch, but when I leave it on, it just slowly starts to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer.
Yeah.
Do you leave it on full ball? Like
it's not connected to a battery pack.
Okay.
It just slowly gets dimmer and dimmer. So every like 5 minutes I'll turn it off and on again, and then it'll just keep doing that. Like it's not that big of a deal, but kind of bugs me a little bit. So I'll either just leave it off until I find something, and just use the handheld, or just keep doing that for a while.
Yeah.
But,
I do like the handheld ones too. I was using one of those for ages, but it is just so convenient to free up your hands if you can with the head torch.
Especially when you're driving and you see something on the road.
Yeah.
Fumbling like your phone and your torch and the handbrake and the turning the lights off and everything.
Yeah.
I think the only downside is all the bugs get attracted to your face.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But that's just a price to pay.
On our recent trip to Queensland, the bugs were like insane. I've never seen that many bugs. Even at Fog Dam, there weren't as many bugs as there were as in Queensland or where we were. It was crazy.
It can blow you away sometimes. Hey, I mean, when I went to Fog Dam, it was pretty dry, but it might be a bit different when we go up there, and hopefully about 4 weeks time we should be up there. So
yeah, cool. That'd be good.
Not that we're counting it down or anything. Hey, Jess.
Not at all. Yeah, nice. What are you chasing up there?
Everything.
That's cool. Everything. I've been talking to Luke Jongans a bit before the season ends. I'm trying to fit in like 3 or 4 nights, fly up there and just go hard and try and find an Owen Pelly python for a few couple of nights. I've got to tee that up, so I want to do it before uni goes back at the start of March. But yeah, it's so good up there. I'll send you some spots. I've got there's plenty of spots up there, but I've got a few spots for some things.
Yeah,
awesome. we're going up there with Luke, so
obviously. Nice. Yeah. If you're with Luke, you'll find everything. Then.
Yeah. Well, going off his photos, we have a better chance than when you go with me. So yeah, should be fun.
Cracking photos lately.
Yeah, he has been
insane.
You know, he's been doing really well.
He's doing really good.
Yeah.
So
what's that? Where are we on? 5 nights.
5 nights.
5 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we're just going to be swagging it and staying where we can, sort of thing, which will be awesome, because the last time I went there, we were always going back to like a hotel or something like that at the end of the night, and I think that just kind of kills it. Well.
Yeah, I haven't swagged it up there before, but when we went in, it was early Feb, so it'll probably be around the time when you were going. The humidity up there was insane, and the people we were with tried to swag it for 2 nights, and they didn't. They caved in and started doing hotels as well. But if I go up, I'll be swagging it.
Yeah.
It's easier as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can herp in the day. You can just kick back for a bit and then
that's it.
Have a feed, go herp, and then roll your swag out and wake up and go and herp again.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Jason and I have been kind of like talking about what we're taking and bits and pieces, and like one thing I was just showing him before is I've got a like takeaway pillow in this little thing that you can just inflate up. I've got it on eBay for like $17 or something like that.
That's sick.
I'm just going to buy a 5-litre goon cask when I'm up there. And...
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And then
stay hydrated and sleep on it.
That's sick.
Yeah. No, it should be good fun. We're really looking forward to it. So that's why we've been trying to get like a few herpers and stuff on, because it's good to pick people's brains about what people are taking, because everyone might say something different. Like we haven't had an EpiPen before, you know. That's a great idea to go. Well, especially if you're in the middle of nowhere and shit hits the fan, like
especially because like you could get bitten by something, have an allergic reaction, don't even know
you're
allergic to it because you've never been bitten by it before. So
even something like a boiger, if someone gets my boiger, they could have an allergic reaction.
Yeah. What's the expiry dates on those EpiPens?
I'm not sure. I do know that we did have to renew it once since we got it, but you got to check the expiry dates and keep on top of that. But it's definitely something worth having in a first aid kit.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like a stupid question, but do you just go to a chemist for one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing you need as well is offline maps. That's a big one.
Yeah.
My maps always plays. I haven't gone anywhere like completely remote without it, but usually I use Google Maps and download the offline maps on it. But sometimes it just plays up and doesn't work. I know there's a few different apps that people do use for it that are a lot more reliable than Google Maps. I like Google Maps though, because you can pin places and stuff.
Yeah.
And I also use that Sightings app. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Is that Herpmapper or is that a different one?
It's different to Herpmapper, but it's just called Sightings on the App Store, and you can just pin everything you find there, and it's got like all the species names and how many you found and notes and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Take down the times and temperatures and the conditions. I've been a bit slack with it lately, but I did it when we went to Queensland.
Is that like a global one? So if you've pinned it, someone else can see it, or is it just your own personal thing?
It's just your own.
Okay,
I wouldn't. Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because I know Herpmapper is a bit more of a global one.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty cool. You can have your own little log.
Yeah. I've got a few things on iNaturalist that I've used and chucked up a couple of pins on there just for like, I don't know, weird finds and things like out of range and stuff like that. Just like random things on highways and stuff that like a dead Shines whip snake and a dead Mertens that was like near Tennant Creek and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Random things. But nothing that'll give away like crazy spots.
Yeah, good spots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But what kind of camera setup are you using?
I've got a Nikon D7100 and I've got 3 different lenses that I use. So I've got the 10-20 wide angle. I've got them written down here because I had to check before I came on. So I've got a 10-20 wide angle lens I use. I've got the 18-140 mil. So that's just like when I want to take field guide shots and of like bigger elapids and stuff like brown snakes and that sort of thing. And you can get decent headshots from afar with that, and it's easy to get a lot better lighting than with taking field guide shots with the macro lens of a big snake.
Yep.
And then I've got the 40 mil macro, and then I've got a newer TT560 speed light that I've been trying to use more.
Yep.
And just that white screen diffuser.
The one that slips over the lens.
Yeah.
So you're getting some pretty good results with that diffuser.
It depends on like what I'm using. So like for my field guide shots, I'll generally be using that the speed light as well as a diffuser. But for things like the close-up headshots and stuff, I find it really hard. And it's my own fault for not practicing with them more. I find it really hard to get the lighting right with the speed light on for close headshots. So I just ditch that and use the on-camera flash with the diffuser for those close headshots.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I really do love those kind of shots, though. I love the kind of portraits.
Yeah.
Real kind of facial feature heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Are they kind of like one of your favorite types of shots to do?
Yeah. Mine aren't. I'm not like, every time I take them, I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, that could be so much better. But I just like taking a photo of just the head of an animal and have a black background, and you can put like a few different snake headshots together, or like a bunch of lizard headshots, or you can mix all of them together and just have a set of like black background macro shots. And I just really like looking at that, just going through all the macro headshots I've got of things.
Yeah.
And just comparing them all.
And you're using your 40 mil for a majority then?
Yeah. But a lot of those, I'm not happy with like the lighting and stuff on them. They need a lot of work, but
that's just the onboard flash though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's getting some good results with that onboard flash.
I'm going to be trying to sort the speed light out, and hopefully that'll make things a bit better.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the same speed light that I've got actually. Although I do not take my camera out nearly as much as what I should practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find there's too many people doing it already, but there's not enough people filming it. So I just kind of like try to compile little clips together, and at least that's something for me to look back at, and it actually moves.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I was meant to be doing that this season. I was going to start doing my YouTube videos again. I completely forgot, to be honest. Like, it's not a habit anymore. I used to film YouTube videos of herping and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I've got a few clips and stuff there, but I don't want to voice over them. I prefer when I'm like talking at the time about the animals and stuff. I've just got to remember, I've just got to go out one day and just be like, okay, I'm just going to see what I can find and film whatever I can. And
I think it's hard too when you're focused on getting pictures as well. So like you've got one mind on the pictures and then the other one on the video, and the video probably kind of falls to the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But see, I just started herping recently. Like, I've kept snakes for years, but never really herped much. But I just basically taken photos of stuff just for my own record, basically. So I set up an Instagram just for that, just so I can record, you know, what I've seen. It's kind of for myself as like the checklist almost.
Yeah, it's cool. I like doing that with a few of the things I've seen as well. I've got so many photos that I take, and I just don't post them anywhere. They never see the light of day. But then I'll go through like 3 months later and be like, geez, that's all right. Why didn't I post that? I mean,
I always find it's kind of a bit more intriguing looking back at them way after the fact.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh, that was wicked. You know, you kind of fall in love with it all over again. Whereas if you're just looking at it when it's fresh, you're kind of like, oh, I just saw it yesterday or whatever, you know, like you're not too keen on it.
It'll bring back the memories and stuff as well when you're looking through those photos.
Yeah, exactly. And you do have some cracking shots on your Instagram there, so
thank you.
I'm absolutely loving flicking through them. I probably haven't done it properly, but it makes a difference when I'm looking at it on a computer versus a phone as well. You know, the image is big, especially for somebody that needs glasses. So
that
worm is awesome. That must have been pretty stoked to find that.
I could not believe that. Hey, that it turns out that snake that we found before that we thought was a Dunmall's is not a Dunmall's snake. It's actually a yellow nape snake, Furina Barnardi. So I thought it was a Dunmall's snake, and I didn't think you got yellow nape snakes around the Brigalow, because on the distribution maps it says it's out of range. But after a few people have like suggested it and said that, given the reasons why, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's 100% Dunmall's a yellow-nape snake.
That's so cool.
But,
yeah.
That's always good finding random stuff, hey? Like it's...
Yeah.
I remember when I was in the NT, I wrongly ID'd a... What was it? It was like a type of crevice skink, Margarete, as some sort of like really red rock sort of skink in West Max. I can't remember what I called it. It was like I thought I called it like a tenode or something. It's like all butchered, but all the skink nuts were going, "Oh my god, I can't believe you found one of these things!" And I'm like,
"Oh, really?
To me, this is just a skink, you know. Like I don't know any different, but yeah, cool. I'm glad that I found something awesome, you know. So
that's mad.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah, I had something like that. I found this. I completely forgot what it was. I'd found this skink and not taking photos. I thought at the time I should just take a couple of quick photos in case it's something cool. And I was like, nah, I know what this is. It's this little like I completely forget, like this little Larista or something. And then I just sent the photos to a mate or someone had posted the photos who was with us, and everyone's like, no, that's this really rare kind of. I completely forgot what it was. This really rare kind of Larissa, and I was like, fuck, should have taken photos.
It's always.
And that was like that happened in our Queensland trip as well. We'd found our first inland marbled velvets, and so I took some photos of that, and then like a little while after, we'd found a Jura elegans on the road, and I was half asleep, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's just a baby marbled velvet. And so we let it go, and then I was like, after we let it go, I was like 30 minutes when I was like, hang on, maybe that was something else. And then I looked at the photo and I was like, you're kidding me. I've never seen elegans before either. So yeah, that was a new species that I didn't take any photos. I got one phone photo of it, and that was it.
Oh, at least you still got one photo at least, you know, and you've seen it. Right. So
I knew, I had a feeling at the time. I was like, I've got to take one photo just in case I'm wrong.
At least you had that to kind of go back and ID it on or whatever, and you know, at least you can prove that you actually saw it. But I think something that a lot of herpers don't do, well, this is just my perspective, is like pretty much everybody that's going out is going out to take photos and stuff. I don't think a lot of people kind of really stop to enjoy the animal enough.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
one of the biggest things about photography that I've realized as well is a lot of the time it can ruin it.
Yeah,
it can ruin the finds as well. Like sometimes you think more about getting that shot than enjoying the animal, and so it's like you could find the thing that you've been spending your whole trip looking for, and you're trying to take photos of it and it just doesn't work. Either the settings are wrong or the animal's not cooperating, and you just get frustrated, and then it just like ruins the excitement of the find.
Yeah.
And so then you need to like, there's a lot of times where you just need to take a step back and you accept you're not going to get the photo, but you just need to spend time enjoying the animal.
Yeah.
It was like that with our speckled brown snake in the Northern Territory. We were so stoked to see it, but photographing it just kind of ruined the excitement of finding it.
Yeah.
And so it was after that trip, I was like, I just need to like take a step back. Like you get to see the animal. That's the main thing. And it's a bonus if you do get a nice photo, but like at the end of the day, all that matters is that you get to see the animal, and you get to like, it's just about enjoying the animal and enjoying the experience, not getting the photo. That doesn't really matter. That's just a bonus on the side.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
100%. I think that's one of the good things about the frogs too, is you can take that picture.
100%.
They, you know, they sit still. They're very photogenic, but then you can still get that time to enjoy the animal as well, and the surrounds and everything.
Yeah, and when you don't touch them, you can enjoy animals so much more. I feel like just watching them doing their own thing is so much more exciting, and it's just so much cooler than if you just put something under a lid and like watch. But
it's crazy the amount of natural behaviors you can see doing that. Like, you know, seeing like a Burton's scurrying around for skinks or something like that. Like, or I remember watching this little bandy not long ago. I think it would have been that same night that actually you were out there, and I think I was walking back with a few other people, and the little bandy was kind of like cruising around. We were taking a bit of some photos of it and stuff, and we kind of like, you know, just let it go on its way. And then all of a sudden this little blind snake shot out from underneath this leaf and took off in a different direction. Really? I was like, that's why the bandy was there. Like he was sniffing around for that. You know? That's kind of like a 2 for 1.
Yeah. When we were in Narrabri, we'd found this deviz, and we'd just taken a couple of quick photos of it and let it go. And then out of the corner of my eye, I just see it shooting across the ground, and it had stuck its head down a crevice, scared out a frog, and it was chasing this frog along the ground, and it lost the frog, and then just kind of sat there and went back to sticking its head down cracks. And I was like, that is so sick. And I just like put the camera away, put everything away, and I just spent like 10 minutes just following it, watching it forage until it disappeared down a crevice. And that was like one of my favorite encounters, just like ever, just watching it do its thing.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And it was so interesting as well. I was just videoing it all, just watching it do its thing. It was sick.
Yeah, I definitely. You got to respect the animal in that sense. You know, like that's the thing is like we all love the animals for being the animals, but you know, as cool as it is to get these cracker shots, and man, they are cracker. At the same time, I think people just have to take a step back and at least spend a bit of time, 100%. Even if it's just a few minutes, going, how cool is this that I got to experience this critter?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I did that with that boiga. What they found that night.
Yeah.
I had a quick look, took one picture. It's just a headshot, and I was like, happy I saw it and just watched it for a bit, and then there's heaps of other people trying to get pictures. And
like that that red adder that we found that night, you were there, Luke. Everyone was like trying to get photos and stuff. Like it was everyone was photographing, and I looked at it and I was like, I'm not even going to try. Like we saw the death adder. I'm stoked that we've seen this death adder. I know what's going to happen if I try to take photos of the death adder, but I'm just going to take a quick phone video, and that's all I need. Like it's sick. It's so cool to just watch it. And I was watching everybody get like frustrated trying to take photos of it. And I was like, here I am just loving it, just watching it and knowing I'm not going to get photos, but just seeing it is so much better. Like that night, I don't think I photographed a single thing, but it was so much fun just finding things and spending like real little time with them. Just like taking a couple of quick phone pics and moving on.
Honestly, mate, I bought two cameras back in late 2017 and 2018, and I used them probably for like a year, and then all of a sudden I was just like, you know what, I'm not 100% sure this is for me. I just feel like I'm missing out. I'm getting frustrated at these photos and everything, and that's why 100%. I just take a little clip on my phone and I can go and watch it whenever I want to and see the critter move or whatever, and I'm going, that's awesing. That's enough for me, you know. And I admire everybody else's photography out there, so you know, I get to enjoy both sides.
Another thing about photography as well is when you spend time photographing something, you miss a lot of like prime time while you're taking photos. Like you'll miss, like you could find something at the start of like the best time of the night and then spend 10, 15, 20 minutes taking photos. And like in that time, you could have found 3 more of them, or you could have found something else. You miss a lot of things as well when you're taking photos, and especially in a large group as well.
Yeah.
I always find
that's why I like herping with like less people.
I've
been herping by myself a fair bit lately, and I like doing that, but I still prefer herping with just like 1 or 2 people, and you share the excitement of finding your target species and stuff with them. And
I agree. I think sometimes it can be a little bit of a madhouse in certain spots, and that's what kind of ruins it, because you're all racing around to try to find whatever somebody else has got or whatever like that, and that can be a little bit of a nightmare. But I always find myself getting like if I'm out with a lot of photographers, I always seem to be walking so much further ahead of them, just because I've had my 2 minutes with the critter or whatever like that, and then
definitely
they're lining up for half an hour to take photos. So
that in the Brigalow when we went, we had a big group, but it was great. Like I loved every single person that was on that trip with us. And like we didn't spend long photographing animals at all. Everyone would take like a couple of quick shots, and then we'd all move on, and we have like so many eyes. I think we had 4 separate cars cruising, so we saw a lot more as well. But that was great. That group that we went with is one group of people that I would love. I love, even though they are a big group, I love hanging out with them and spending time with those people. They're great.
I went herping with them once at the local spot that we met up at last time. Michael just shot me a message and was like, hey, we're coming up to your area, you came for a herp, and I was like, oh hell yeah. And I didn't realize how big a troop he was bringing up with him, but man, we found so much stuff that night, and like those kids, their eyes are insane.
The kids have insane eyes. They they were finding heaps of stuff on that trip. And it's great to see younger kids getting into it as well.
Yeah,
and they're getting into like photography and stuff as well. They've got a couple of them have got Instagram pages, and yeah, you imagine where they're going to be in like 4 or 5 years if they're already that good at finding things and they're already posting, taking cracker photos and stuff.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed with the hobby too is it's kind of shifting a lot more towards herping too than keeping. Yeah. Whereas it kind of started all these older guys were herpers, then herpers they turned into keepers, and then everyone just went nuts on keeping, and now all the young people coming through are just real good herpers. And I feel that's something I missed out on when I was younger, because I didn't really none of my mates are into reptiles. Like, I had one mate who was, but we went herping a couple of times. But other than that, I didn't really know anyone, so I just kind of had a couple of snakes and sat on the forums and stuff. But never really went herping. So that's good to see. And like the knowledge that some of these young kids have now is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so good.
Yeah. You imagine where they're going to be when they're like an adult.
Yeah.
Like, if they stick with it and keep going the way they're going, they're going to be going crazy places.
And the thing is, like, they could go into the fields. Like, there's so much work that still needs to be done on some of these like species and stuff. So like some of these kids coming through, they could be describing some new species here and there, and
100%.
They're just hiding under the sight.
Yeah, that group that we went to the Brigalow with, we always are hitting up the tiger snakes spots together. We always team up, and every night herping with them it's so much fun. I reckon they're probably my favorite group of people to herp with.
Yeah.
It's always just fun hanging out with them. We're always laughing, and we always find stuff as well, because there's always a few cars.
Yeah.
There's always more eyes, and there's always those kids who can spot everything. That's crazy.
And then they rip shit off you when you step over a small white snake and you don't even realise it.
I heard you talking about that on the last podcast with them.
It's good value.
Yeah.
So do you have a favourite herp trip that you've actually been on with your dad? And why was it so memorable, and what did you find?
My very first herp trip with my dad, which came up in our memories, it was 6 years ago, a couple of days ago.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
And we went to Broken Hill. It was our first herp trip ever. And our holy grails were shinglebacks and bearded dragons. And we had 3 nights on the trip. And like, looking back on it now, it was really, it was quite slow. We found 3 sand monitors. We found some binos geckos. We found 5 shinglebacks and 3 bearded dragons. But at the time, we thought that was the shit. We thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was so excited finding the first shingleback and that first bearded dragon. Like, it was insane. And that was when like the photography sort of kicked off. So Dad had his camera, and he used to take photos of me playing sports and stuff. And he brought it with me, and he'd take photos of me like holding the shinglebacks and the bearded dragons. And in every photo, I've got a smile from ear to ear with all the animals. Like, it was just insane excitement. And we had like crazy conditions. And looking back on it now, we could have cleaned up out there. Like, it was like 47-degree days, and then we have an afternoon storm.
Oh.
And we're like, oh, we're not going to find anything. It's raining. So we drove home.
Yeah, right.
As we're driving home, that's when we found the first shingleback at like 10 o'clock at night. But yeah, that first trip and the excitement over finding those things was just crazy. And yeah, I'm always going to remember that one.
That's awesome.
I think that sort of thing is always going to be so memorable, because it doesn't matter what the animal is. If you've got a target in mind, whether you're a beginner herper or an experienced herper, that excitement's still going to be the same. And then you're always going to graduate up to a different species, and you're going to learn more along the way.
Yeah.
But no, that's
definitely. Yeah, I miss those days when like the blue tongue was a holy grail as well.
Yeah,
blue tongue with bearded dragons and a diamond python. Those were like my main things. And yeah, I went off my head every single time I saw one of those. It was insane. But yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Cool. We got to share that moment with your dad too. Like,
100%, yeah.
Like
we've got like the home video camera out. And we were cheering and we found that first shingleback. It's so good to watch back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I still have a giggle at myself when I watch my video of me finding the Nephrus amio. I'm just like, oh Jesus, you just look like you look like such a dorky nerd with this gecko, But at the same time, it's like, well, that's just pure excitement.
So. Yeah, that's 100%, right. Yeah. That was like me with that Burtons that night.
Yeah, it's so freaking red.
Yeah, I was like, what? And you're like, it's just a Burtons.
So there's a question for you, Jesse. Do you ever find that you have animals that like lose their luster for you, or do you find that you're still excited about pretty much everything you see?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like things like red belly black snakes are one. Like this, I still love to see them, but like flipping tin and finding a red belly, or a marsh snake these days now. I'm just like, kind of, because you find them just about every time you go flip tin flipping. I'm just like, yeah, cool. Like there's another one. I don't spend time with them anymore, but like 3-4 years ago, I'd have been completely stoked going out and spending a full day looking and finding like a single marsh snake or something. But like yesterday afternoon, I think I found 3 red bellies, a marsh snake, a small one or something like that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. We were looking for tigers, so that's all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. At the same time, like they're always going to be a cool species to see, and it's always great to see all of them. But yeah, definitely not like as exciting as when I first would see them. Same with blue tongues. Like I don't think many people would go off there, not for a blue tongue, but I remember I did when I first found one. And now, I don't know, flipping. I did a snake job for a blue tongue today, and I was like cursing because we'd driven across Sydney for what I thought was a brown snake, and get there and it's just a blue tongue sitting out on the grass.
So, talking about trips, like obviously we just talked about the one with your dad, but do you have like a favorite trip that you've been on with friends?
Brigalow, the one we just did to the Brigalow with, like Kai and Joanne and all them.
Yeah, okay. I was pretty sure that was going to be your answer, but I wasn't sure if you might have like another one lined up as like a close second.
I haven't done a great deal. I think I've done 4 trips with my mates. No, I'd say probably that Queensland one without a doubt. And then maybe the Northern Territory I did last year. In February, probably second.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah.
How'd you guys go in the NT? Did you?
We did. We had a 2-week. It was a 2-week trip. It was the longest trip I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Because usually we just do like a week max sort of thing. So we did. I forget how many nights. We did a few nights like around Darwin, Kakadu and stuff, and then we headed down to the Barkly for 3 or 4 nights, and then back up to do like Litchfield and all that. We got a fair few species, and I think the coolest things we saw were like speckled brown snake in the Barkly.
Did you get an adder? Barkly adder?
At Fog Dam. We got I think they're Barkly adders at Fog Dam, aren't they? They're the Acanthopus Hawkeye or something at Fog Dam. We got one. But that was the only adder we got that trip.
Yeah.
We just saw a lot of the sort of common stuff. Seeing giant cave geckos and stuff was awesome as well.
I'd love to see something.
Latoria copulandi was probably my favorite frog that we saw.
Yeah.
They were sick. But yeah, it was just a good trip.
Did you go with Jaden on that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was just doing the dates in my head, and I was like, I knew he was up the top end.
Yeah.
When I was in the middle. So
we were with him for a bit. And then we kind of went down south to the Barkly, and they stayed up there. I did a trip with Jaden like 2 months ago out to like near Cobar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Do
you
do pretty good out there as well, or is it just kind of like a bit of a weekender?
Yeah, we were chasing desert skinks and coral snakes. So we got 2 of the targets, which was the desert skink and the smooth knobtail.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we missed out on the coral snake.
Oh, bugger.
But yeah, that was a good little weekend trip.
Do you have any other sort of like recommendations of any other like sort of trips that might be good for a bit of a weekender from Sydney?
What I don't hear a lot of people doing is I don't hear a lot of people going south. They're either going west or north. Yeah. But I think there's still a few places down south that you could pretty.
I've been meaning to get to Melbourne for like a year and a half. I've got a mate down there who I kept saying, right, I'm going to make it happen soon. And I still haven't got around to it. So if I don't end up going to Darwin next month, I'm going to go down to Melbourne for a couple of days to see things like the lowlands, copperheads and stuff like that. But yeah, not too many people do go south. I went to like Kosciuszko for a night.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, but it was like horrible weather, so it was pretty slow.
Yeah.
I'll probably go back down there again soon because I want to get better photos of a blotchy, even though you can get them in the Blue Mountains and stuff. I like the ones down there.
Yeah.
I want to get a photo from down there.
There's some cool stuff up in the Kosciuszko National Park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome habitat there. Like it's just so unique, you know, just that sort of like what do you call it? It's almost just a bit tundra.
Yeah. Yeah, Guthiga skink's a big one I want to see down there. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'm not.
But we didn't end up seeing them.
Oh, there's always next time, mate. There's another goal for you, right?
Gives you a reason to come back down.
Yeah, exactly. You're seeing more of Australia than most people do in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So you've got to take that as a positive.
100%.
So you've also recently started working at Reptile Relocations Sydney. What's that like to do relocations as a day job?
Yeah, it's cool. Because I'm like, I've got uni, I've got Symbio and stuff, so it's only a couple of days a week I can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I love doing it. It's always good fun. You get a mixed bag of jobs, so you get jobs like today. I only did 2 jobs today. One was like a blue tongue, and then one was nothing. It was a black snake that had moved on, because most of the jobs are based like in close to the city or out west in Sydney sort of thing. So because I live in the Shire, it takes me 40-ish minutes to get out there usually.
Yep.
So it gives them a good bit of time to move on. But we, like, with all the catchers in Sydney, we all work together and help each other out. So, like, whoever's closest, we'll try and send to those sorts of jobs. But, yeah, we've had some cool things on there.
Are you studying herp-related stuff at uni? Or
I'm doing a Bachelor of Science, majoring in Ecology and Conservation Biology.
Nice.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing with your age group, and especially a lot of the herpers that are in your age group that I meet, they're all doing something at uni that's, you know, ecology based essentially. Yeah, it almost seems like they all want to make a difference, you know, or at least learn about it. And
it's good to see.
Man, I just wish I could rewind 10 years and
same here
and do the same sort of stuff myself.
Yeah. That's what everyone's said, because I considered dropping out of uni and just like trying to get like full-time at Symbio or something like that, but everyone that I've spoken to said don't do it, like just stick it out. You'll regret it in 10 years time. And so I'm gonna stick it out. I'm almost like halfway through the course anyway, so we'll keep going.
Exactly. You're already there, you're already locked and loaded. Like
for someone like us to do it, you know, we've got like full-time jobs and like mortgages and
we got no chance of doing that.
I'd have to do it like nighttime by myself, but I don't have time at nighttime to do it. So by correspondence, which would suck. You know?
But when you finished school, Jace, did you just jump straight into a trade?
Yeah, pretty much.
Same
6
as me.
months, I was straight into the trade.
But
I've done it ever since.
I finished.
I'm at the point now where I'm like, I wish I did something else. I'm sick of it.
Hey, Luke, are you heading out with Michael on Saturday night?
Hopefully, yeah.
He just me then and asked if I wanted to come.
That's funny. I'm like, if I've got a chance to see a broadie, good chances with them. So
I'm 50-50 at the moment. I'm just going to see if I can get away.
If you're going with that group, you've got a good chance because there's a good set of eyes. Good few eyes.
Oh, mate, I'm lucky too because one of my mates is going down with him because he's stinging for a broadie and he lives around the quarter from me. So he's like, I'll drive you. I was like,
nice.
Awesome. You know, got a lift.
That'd be good.
I just got to get up here after work. But it's I jumped straight out of school and I had like one weekend and then jumped straight into a trade. So there was no uni or anything for me. It was just straight out.
I didn't feel like I was academic enough to study uni, but I was one of those people that never applied myself unless I was into it. Looking back on it, I would have applied myself because I was 100% into it. Like I've got so many books now and I read them all. Like I would have applied myself because I was actually into it. But I just thought at the time, you know, I'm not going to spend money on a university degree because I'll probably flunk it. So I'll just go do a trade. But
I had that same problem as well. And that's why I was considering dropping out as well, because first year is just like the foundation work and it's like doing chemistry and all that sort of stuff. And I can't stand chemistry, but it's got to be done. And second year is going to be a lot more course related.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'll be a lot easier to apply myself and stick it out, and it'll be a lot more enjoyable and a lot more interesting as well.
Yeah.
I think you're doing the smart thing, and
definitely
by staying there, because I think, you know, you could probably take that a lot further than, you know, if you were to drop out and do something else. I think you'd probably, this is just a personal opinion from an outside sort of thought, but I think you'd be kind of missing out. I think you could be doing.
But even if you finished it and then you decided you wanted to do something else, you still got that.
You got it behind under your belt.
Yeah.
You're
not like me, you know, wishing you did something like that.
Wow. Well, just to bring it back to kind of like your call outs with the relocation mob, what are some of like the craziest call outs you had? You've already mentioned the blue tongue, but have you had any weird ones? Like the other week I saw somebody had to get called out for a snail.
Yeah, I saw that one. I haven't had too many crazy ones, but I've had like, there was one lady who was just screaming on the phone that she's got a massive snake in her yard. And so I was like, just send through a photo and we'll tell you what it is. And so she sends through a photo of a blue tongue. And so we're like, it's just a blue tongue. Like, it's not anything bad. And she's like, no, it's a massive snake. It's a snake. You have to come. And so I went to that job, and it was like, it was two blue tongues mating, which was cool. But I showed her them, and she's like, oh yeah, that's sweet. So I just drove out there and left them in her yard. But Corey's had some funny ones, like that snail. He's had a poo in the toilet that he's been called out to as well before.
Brown snake.
Fairly new to catching. I've only been on since I think August last year, so I haven't gone to any too crazy ones yet. But
I've had a few interesting ones, just through, because I was with Sydney Wildlife for a bit, and I remember getting called out for a brown snake. It was supposedly 45 centimeters long, yada yada yada. I went out there and it was like maybe a 12 centimeter blind snake. It looks like a worm. Like, this doesn't even count. Like, most people wouldn't even think this is a snake, but stuff like that. I remember getting called out to this guy's place in, where is he? He was the back end of Terry Hill somewhere. And he had a diamond python in his house, and I went there, and the poor bugger was living in such a derelict building, and there was just like mice running around everywhere in this guy's house. He was obviously not well, but there's this snake sitting on the couch full of mice. I was like, okay, you know, like, I felt sorry for that bugger though. But he's like, oh yeah, they come here every week. I'm like, there's a reason for it, but that's always funny. Cool. I had this I remember this South African lady. She called me for a snake, and it was like the neonate golden crown snake that was just floating in a pool, and she was screaming and hollering and all sorts of stuff. And,
really?
I was like, I was saying to her, I was like, you come from like a land where you've got like mambas and vipers and, you know, all this kind of crazy stuff, and she was just like, it's the small ones that scare me. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. Everyone has their thing. So
I had a job where someone put a carton of eggs out the front of a wall so that they try to attract the snake, try and bring that back out. I thought that was kind of funny.
A carton of eggs.
I was trying to pull apart the retaining wall, and I was like, what are they for? And they're like, oh, just try and bring it out. And don't know if that'll work.
It's like those snake repellers you see they sell at Bunnings.
I've done so many jobs with snake repellers there.
They're hilarious, those things.
My wife's uncle swears by him. He lives up in Orange, and he's got him like every couple of meters around the property, sort of thing. I love sending him photos of him like sitting on them basking and stuff.
Just give me 2 seconds. I just gotta grab my charger.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never did was like snake volunteer, like rescues or anything like that. Like, I thought about joining wires and stuff like that, but I just never got around to it. So
Oh, look, it can be good fun as a bit of an experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah,
you get some pretty.
You get some interesting stuff that happens throughout it.
Yeah, definitely. But there's always good stories.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else that you want to touch on at all tonight?
Not really. I can think of.
It's been a pretty. You've just absolutely run through those questions, Jesse.
Yeah.
Like half the questions that I had written down here, you'd already answered them before we got a chance to ask them. So yeah, no, it was good. We just kind of let you run.
Kind of fast.
No, that's good with that.
Man, I'm so keen to go for this herping trip.
Yeah.
Like,
I was flicking through your Instagram before you come on, like, because I've followed you for a while, and I was just looking at some of the frogs, man. Oh, man, I've got to get out and see some.
You'll get some nice frogs up in the Northern Territory.
Yeah,
you'll have some real cool ones up there. That's probably one of the best places to get some of the sickest frogs up there.
Yeah.
I'll be stoked to see some strophs.
Yeah,
we're stoked. Yeah, same here. I'm at geckos and frogs on the thing.
Yeah, nice.
It's
I'd love to just knock out like a 2-week trip and just try and tick off like a bunch of the leaf tails and just drive up north.
Yeah,
that's one of my trips I want to do.
Yeah, I love getting the big male frillies as well up there. They're so cool.
Yeah,
I'd
love to see frilly.
All that sort of stuff. Hey, because when I went there, I got nothing. I got a few water pythons, and that was like pretty much it.
Yeah. Did you how long was that for? That trip?
It was 7 nights, but it was pretty much like a holiday for me and my wife. And then I was dragging her out at night trying to find snakes. So
cool.
It wasn't like a full-on sort of herp trip. So I'm figuring that we got. Yeah, this is redemption for me basically. So
you'll be in good hands if you're with Luke. Though.
Yeah.
You'll find your heaps of stuff.
I think that's one of the things too, is if you go to like a different spot and if you team up with someone who's herped that area before, like,
100%.
You know, they know a couple of good spots on that.
One thing we missed out on was northern brown snakes.
Yeah,
I really, really wanted to get one of those, but I've done, I think, 3 trips up there, total of 4 weeks, and we haven't got one yet. But we there was another one we wanted to get as well. A Duraphilisopota.
Yeah,
we tried for that.
I'd love to see one of them.
I really did see one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you get one of those, I'll be spewing.
Anything geckos, this is me.
Yeah, you'll love the giant cave geckos. They're so cool.
I used to keep them. They're like biggest attitudes. Those things.
Yeah, I know. But, it's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see some of them for sure. And they don't let go when they get.
No, they don't. They don't.
Pack a punch too for a little gecko. Oh, they're not little, but you know, for a gecko, they pack a decent bite.
Yeah. The first one we found, I had hanging off my finger for like a good 5 minutes, and then I was trying to get it off my finger so I could take photos of it, and it slipped off and went in a crack, and we lost it. That was so cut. And then we found one like 15 minutes later, so we were sweet. But
they're pretty abundant up there, aren't they? The cave geckos.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
Well, we missed them. We tried for them on one of the trips and completely missed them. But then we just pulled up at this random bit of escarpment at night time and shined them, and we got what did we get? We got like a handful of those. We got Marmarata, and we were getting a Drew Jamada and stuff as well. Jamada are so cool.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the Philisopota are my favorite though.
Yeah.
For some reason.
They're sick.
Yeah, they're just.
Yeah. Are you going to try for Owen Pellies?
I'd like to hope so.
Yeah, same.
Luke still hasn't found one, so I'm hoping that he's in that sort of mindset where he wants to find one.
Yeah.
Well, he found that. What was it?
The children's python.
The children's python. Man,
that looked like.
That's so silver.
Yeah.
That would have thrown me for sure.
Every time we were walking around that spot and we would see a children's, my heart would sink for a second, thinking that it was a little Owen Pelly.
They're similar colour ones to the one Luke. Have you seen the one Luke saw? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been the same spot that he was at.
Yeah.
We saw 2 looking like that, and they were just sitting in ambush in the perfect spot that you'd think an Owen Pelly was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, don't worry.
See, for me, even finding a children's python would be absolutely insane, because after keeping them for years, like I can really appreciate the natural habits of a basic children's python, you know.
it's cool seeing him in ambush when you're walking around up there.
Yeah, pretty much everything up there. I'll be stoked to see anything.
Yeah.
You know what I would really like to find? I'd really like to find some Sheo, the Nephrous Sheo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just because I've already seen the Amier, and like to be able to tick another one off, like that would be awesome to see one there, and then at least I could go to Queensland to try to find some Asper or something.
Yeah.
We didn't get those up there. Yeah, but they would be cool.
Those banded Aspers.
One thing I really wanted to get up there was a red Bockadam. We've seen a few grey ones, but the red, I really like those red coloured Bockadams up there.
Yeah, my main things are leaf tails, chameleon gecko, and green tree pythons. They're probably my main things I want to take off.
Yeah, you've always been kind of like a tropical sort of rainforesty type lover in that sense, though.
But also just anything geckos too, like any type of geckos. And there's a few of a couple of obscure geckos that I'd love to see as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's just nice. Like I love like a lapids and stuff too, but I think I'm just more the geckos and frogs for some reason. They're just my thing, I think.
I'm secretly hoping, Jesse, that this kind of changes his mind on a few of these things. Like I know that he's going to love the trip regardless, but I hope he gets just that like little bit more of an kind of like arid, rocky, gorgy sort of influence into his hobby.
I've been watching a few herping videos just in that area, and I can't wait to go out there. Like, there's definitely stuff out there that I love, but I can see me going back out there more than once, like for sure. Like, just as much as I want to go tropical rainforest, I would definitely go. But I just want to see more of Australia, just pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So
you can spend like we spent 2 weeks up there and felt like we only just scratched the surface and there was so much more to see.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It'll just keep drawing you back.
I would definitely want to go up to the Kimberleys one day. That's one place I definitely want to go.
Yeah, 100%.
I got a cousin that lives up there somewhere. So
is this your first trip that you're going on?
Yeah, first one. So stoked.
I'm still counting this as my first one because it's like my first real one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We were going to look at going to the Kimberleys in summer.
Yeah.
Later this year, so probably like December later this year, but I think we're considering doing Iron Range in June instead.
Yeah, nice.
And then we'll just do something smaller up there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Iron Range. That's definitely one I want to go to. So
yeah, it'd be a cool one.
Yeah, I think we were kind of hoping to tee something up for June as well up that way. So
it
just depends if it lines up because that seems to be the time of year to go up that way. So
yeah,
it does.
We both love our greens.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, my mates were up there though in the wet season, and they cleaned up.
Was that Shane and man? The photos they put up, I'm like, man, they got heaps of stuff. Heaps of stuff I want to tick off. They got. I was like, man,
yeah.
They saw what's that? There's a gecko up there. It lives in the mental blank. I can picture it. It lives in the rock escarpments up there. There's like a little.
The Black Mountain.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'd love to see them. They're one thing I'd love to see as well.
Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah. So.
But it seems like green pythons aren't too tricky to find.
Sounds like it. No, me, if I went by myself, I wouldn't find one. But if you go with the right person, it sounds like you're pretty set to find one.
Mate, they're bloody easy to find. What are you talking about?
Luke's just pulled the baby out. But yeah, that's there. They've always been a bucket. That was probably. I remember the first time I went to the reptile park when I was like, I'm going to say I was probably only like 4 or 5, and held like they put the diamond python around my neck. I still remember that. But when we left, I got this book, and on the front of the book was a diamond python. I've still got the book to this day. It's been taped together like 600 times. That book is what basically just set off my love for green tree pythons. Was that book.
That's sick.
So
but it'd be hard for someone to overlook them.
They're so beautiful.
Such a nice looking snake.
And I think ours as well, with that dorsal stripe, like that white dorsal stripe, I reckon they're one of the more prettier looking. Don't get me wrong, I still love like all your white face stuff. Like I still like all the designer chondros and that as well, but there's something about that green with that white dorsal stripe, and they get that fluoro blue flecking through them. Yeah, it's just insane. Like I still wish I had my green tree pythons. Like
there's some real cool monitors and stuff up there to see as well. Yeah, really cool monitors to see out there.
Yeah, well, what Jake sent us a picture the other day. That was a little bit further up though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the Prasina.
Yeah, in the tree.
Yeah, that was sick.
He was in the Torres Strait for that, wasn't
Torres Strait, I think it was. Yeah,
he was. Yeah, that was a cracker fight.
Yeah,
he got a heaps of photo of it as well.
Yeah. So like
a lot of people just had a glimpse of him and then they don't get anything to show for it.
Yeah, no, he got a good photo of it too. Yeah. It's just there's heaps of places I want to go now.
Yeah, and that's the best thing as well. Is like no matter where you go, though, there's always going to be more to see.
Definitely,
and there's always going to be more to find.
And like there'll be stuff that you'll miss and you'll want to go back there and see.
Like, 100%. Yeah.
I need a thorny devil. I need a Gilleneye. I need a black-headed monitor. I need a Weimar. The list goes on.
Yeah.
No, it's just I can see me getting I'm bidding hard already. So.
Yeah, I still need to. I want to see Gilleneye as well badly. Yeah, we went to Uluru for only 4 nights, I think. But we got a cold spike at 19 degrees and rainy. But we didn't get Gilleneye. We got a few bits and pieces.
Did you manage to score a Parenti while you're there, or a Tristis?
Yeah,
nice.
We got both of those.
Oh, wicked!
Awesome. Both of those we got Northern Spiny Tail. Ringtail dragon,
awesome.
Centralian earless dragon, and that was pretty much it. A couple of freshly dead, like a really, really nice bright yellow western brown that had just been hit. Same as a mulga, same as another Tristis, same as the central bluey, same as the thorny devil. But yeah, thorny devil actually is one I really badly do want to see as well too.
Yeah. It's just that iconic thing.
Yeah,
I think as well. I'd love to see one. After seeing them at the expo that time, oh man.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see them in the wild.
We got another dead one in the Barclay, another dead thorny devil, and we tried hard for them while we were up there, but we couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
Then we'll just have to go back to the Barclay. Got another excuse to go back.
Exactly.
They were a heartbreaker for me. I think I saw between 5 or 7 of them dead.
Really?
Yeah. I saw way more dead stuff than I saw live stuff. I'm sure I've talked about this tons of times, but it was like 1 live animal to every 8 dead or something like that.
It's crazy,
It's mental.
Cars and cats, they're like
the thing that was weirding me out though is because this was peak COVID wave in last February. So the place was empty. Like you're driving the highways and you're only car for miles. So I was who's running over all this stuff? It just must have been a truck that's come through and just cleaned up over the last couple of weeks, sort of thing, or whatever. But it was pretty sad.
Yeah, it always hurts seeing those freshly hit things, your target species just in front of you. I remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I was down at my tiger spot. I let this car overtake me. I started going a bit faster so I could try and find something before they came, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to stop. So I let him go, and then they hit a baby tiger.
Oh, that's the worst. I've had that happen so many times where then you discover whatever it is writhing on the road, and you have to, put it out of its misery or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's not fun. At the same time, though, sometimes seeing DORs is kind of gives you hope as well. Seeing that things are moving. And it's also kind of cool to see things you see variation in things as well. We've seen, you see a bunch of different looking animals, especially in brown snakes. We've seen so many whack looking dead brown snakes on the road. And it's just cool seeing all the different colors and patterns that you get them in.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with brown snakes, all across, all the different types, and even just in the same, just the different variation between them.
100%. Yeah, that's what I didn't really pay attention to brown snakes too much before I started catching, and since then it's seeing the variations in the eastern browns is insane. And then when we went to the Brigalow, I think I mentioned it in the post I made tonight, but seeing the in the Aspidorinca, you get the banded ones, or you get a bright yellow one or an orange one. They've all got different patterns on their napes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just crazy and it's so cool to seeing every snake's looking different.
Yeah, Yeah, no, there's some absolutely like some of the like what are they called? Mental blank. What are the banded ones?
The banded
brown snakes.
Banded what?
What are they called?
What do you mean?
Mental blank.
Oh, ring browns.
Yeah, ring browns. Some of the ring browns, man. Like you watch them move, and it's like hypnotic almost. Yeah,
100%. I was going to be going to Central New South Wales next week.
Yeah,
but we're not because I'm working. But if we did, I'd really be trying for ring brown snakes.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Sick. They're so cool. I reckon they're probably one of my favorite genes, to be honest. Now, the Pseudonia.
Oh, you got a just flicking through your Instagram there too. The file snake.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
They're cool.
Man, I still remember being up there, and I was looking in like all sorts of like random little like kind of waterways and things like that for Mertens in the NT, and then I stumbled across this German birder who's like, you know, probably 70 years old there with his wife, and I'm like, he's like, what are you looking for? Because I didn't have binoculars on me like a weirdo apparently, and I was like, oh, I'm looking for Mertens water monitors, you know, like a goanna. And he's just like, oh, go to Howard Springs, and you know they're just walking around everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what Howard Springs was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So my wife and I took off there, and it's just like a family, you know, kind of like park essentially. Yeah. Like, and they're just running around like lace monitors.
Like lace monitors do.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not how I wanted to see them, but this is fantastic. At least I get to see 13 of them really easily, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit different for birders too, like compared to like herpers.
Yeah, well, it just counts if they see it.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I think herpers are kind of like, they want to see it in a bit more of a natural environment, not like obese from eating sausages, you know?
Yeah. Raiding the bins and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cheated when we were up the second time as well because we hadn't seen them. So we just went to Howard Springs and saw them there.
Yeah.
Just to see them, get some photos.
The thing that got that kind of jogged that memory for me though was talking about the file snake, because apparently you get those there in that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Oh, yeah, right.
There. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to see those there, but I saw all the signs everywhere for them.
Yeah, they feel like a wet sock. Like they're just so weird and so different. It's insane. They're so cool. But I really love the mud snakes that you get in Darwin, like the Fordonia, the white-bellied mango snakes, and the boccadams and stuff. Yeah. We tried for Richardson's mango snake, I think. I forgot. We tried for one of those and we didn't get them, so that was another thing we missed out on. And we also missed out on Mitchell's water monitors as well.
Yeah, well, that'd be so cool to see. The only time I've ever seen those was in Rob Grabowski's collection when he was down here. That thing was angry, man. It was like charging the glass and stuff at him. It was not a happy lizard.
That's cool.
What a cool animal, but.
Jaden got them. Jaden got both of those, but we went with him.
Yeah, it's always the way.
Yeah,
it's because we wanted to see him as well. So they've got to find him. We couldn't. But we'll definitely be back up trying to find those soon.
Oh, that's wicked.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So when he's going?
27.
27.
Feb.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That it'll be pretty much the end of the wet season then, hey?
That's what we're hoping is just the end sort of thing. So hopefully we don't get flooded out of anywhere and, you know, can kind of drive to most areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, it's like in central New South Wales at the moment, the flooding is crazy. We were going to do Gundabooka. You can't do it because the road's completely flooded.
Oh, yeah.
The river's so high. And everything that was just like a dirt road now is just a massive puddle. It's crazy. And there's a bunch of detours driving through as well because roads are completely flooded. It's insane to see. It's certainly different as well, considering the last time I was out there, it was bone dry.
Wow. That's something I'm excited about going back to that sort of area, is seeing it wet, because when I went, it was ridiculously dry. Like Fog Dam was empty. Pretty much like that.
What time did you go the first time?
It was early October. It was about 2 weeks before the NPR guys went and found the Owen Pelly.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Our first one was up there in October as well. It's a lot slower. It's a lot different as well when in the dry season. But I reckon you'll have a cracker trip.
Yeah, he's hoping. Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thanks so much for coming on and having a bit of a chat to us. Did you just want to throw out any sort of like information as to where people can maybe follow you over on your social media accounts and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm on I'm Jessie's Wildlife on I think just about everything. And then on the Facebook page as well, there's Reptile Relocations Sydney for the one I catch snakes for. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth following both along to see some pretty interesting snake relocations of the local Sydney area. But yeah, definitely follow Jessie over on his Jessie's Wildlife Instagram page because the photos are definitely worth it.
Yeah,
I've been staring at them all night drooling.
Yeah. Thanks.
Alrighty guys, so we'd like to say a massive thank you to Eric and Owen and the rest of the NPR crew for having us. If you'd like to contact them, it's best to find them at moreliapythonradio.net and email them at info@moreliapythonradio.net. Make sure to follow the NPR network on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. As far as contacting us on our social media platforms, you can email us at australianherpetoculture@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Make sure to check out our Teespring store for podcast merch. The link is on the Facebook page. To see more of what Jason is doing, make sure to follow him on Facebook and Instagram at The Gecko Effect. For myself, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon and Teespring under Featured Scaly Beasts. We hope to have you back next week for another episode of the Australian Herpetoculture Podcast. Good night, guys.
Good night.